I am, and I am excited because I have a really good one for you today. Not that the other music that I've shared with you over the past months hasn't been good, but this one's special. This is one of my vintage exotica loves directly out of the mid-20th century. Gene Rains, or more formally, the Gene Rains Group. I first discovered Gene Rains through the Quiet Village podcast, and the 2014 compilation, Faraway Lands, the exotic music of Gene Rains, was the very first exotica music I ever purchased. To this day, I firmly believe that this was a great on-ramp to the exotica genre. Rains, a vibraphonist, remains a mysterious figure for fans of Tiki and exotica music. Not much is known about him. His career lasted less than a decade or so, and then he seemingly vanished. His albums share very little personal information on the liner notes. The great Hawaiian singer Alfred Apaka recruited him to play the Shell Bar in Honolulu, where Martin Denny and Arthur Lyman had turned exotica into a full-fledged musical phenomenon. From there, he signed with Decca and released 4 albums over 3 years, one of which was a compilation. By 1965, Rains had vanished, although his albums remain highly collectible to this day. The Quiet Village podcast has a great interview with Paul Conrad, who recorded with Rains in Hawaii back in the day. It's not as good as an interview with Rains himself, but it gives some good insight into the man and musician. I'll link to that in the show notes below. The album I'm going to share with you today is Rains' first, Lotus Land, which came out in 1960. It didn't set the world on fire. Rains never achieved the fame or success of Martin Denny, but I'd argue what he achieved is pretty close to the perfect distillation of the combo exotica sound. His arrangements are tight, the performance is professional, and the overall production is focused. The Gene Rains Group understood the assignment. I'm not saying Rains is better than Martin Denny or Arthur Lyman, far from it, or any of the other exotica performers, but I feel like his sound resides in the exact center of a large, overlapping Venn diagram of various exotica musics from the 20th century. His is what I would pick out as most representative of that subgenre overall. The first song I want to share with you today is Hanam, Maui, the second track off of Lotus Land. Let's listen. Now, the first thing that stands out is that this is a showcase tune for pianist Paul Conrad, who I mentioned earlier. It starts simply enough, but then builds in complexity and energy, becoming more uplifting as it progresses. The percussion, too, starts off fairly Spartan, albeit crisp and distinct, before adding more complexity and urgency. It's evocative of tribal sounds, but not terribly menacing. Likewise, the conch shells that are used throughout are used for good effect. I'm not saying this is exotica sanitized for the masses, but this is certainly accessible for a broad range of people whose only exposure to exotica previously may have been Quiet Village. Next is Ringoake, a Japanese composition covered often in exotica. One thing that stands out for me with Gene Rains's music is that he doesn't shy away from Asian musical cues. If anything, he embraces them and incorporates them into non-Asian recordings. Here, he goes all in, channeling Japanese exoticism. Is it cliché? Maybe. This instrumental version dispenses with the lyrics of the original song. Check out Martin Denny's produced version by Ethel Azama for that, in favor of a rhythmic, almost hypnotic rendition that showcases Rains's skill on the vibes. And I don't know who's playing koto in this, but it adds just the right amount of mysterious to the piece. This is a track that goes out of its way to grab the listener's attention. Finally, let's listen to the 6th track on the album, Africa. I've made no secret that I have a love-hate relationship with flutes and exotica music. In many cases, they can dominate the arrangement and take on a shrill quality. But here, the flute plays quite nicely with others, balanced by a dramatic, insistent percussion and piano that comes and goes throughout. I think we can agree, however, that the real standout here are the jungle sounds, the various bird calls and monkey hoots and other less identifiable noises added by the band during the recording session. They're fully integrated into the arrangement to the point where I can hardly imagine what it might sound like without. But they never become intrusive. They belong there. And when the whole song builds up to a frenzied crescendo of drums and animal calls there, well, this is pretty close to the perfect example of an exotica song, even if some purists may argue that the track titled Africa isn't Polynesian enough. If it's not abundantly clear, I like Gene Rains a lot and think his music is worth seeking out. The album was issued in both mono and stereo formats. While I've never listened to the mono version, the stereo recording is rich and crisp, offering a very full sound that maximizes the experience. This is where I normally extol the virtues of supporting the artist directly and avoiding streaming services to get your music. Well, I hate to disappoint you folks, but I'm not going there today. You see, all of Gene Rains's albums are out of print, even the 2014 compilation from Real Gone Music that I mentioned earlier. One simply cannot purchase a new physical copy of his work in any format. The streaming services are iffy at best. The only place online I know to find his albums is Discogs, and good condition pressings of Lotus Land from the 1960s can cost $50 to $100 or more. I take no pleasure in teasing you with great music and then telling you that it's not available. But if enough people clamor for Gene Rains's music, maybe some enterprising indie label will take it upon themselves to license those songs and reissue them as digital downloads, at the very least, if not new vinyl pressings. Now that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Look, I have a massive library of CDs of all genres, but I have no problem admitting that records have a great romance to them. So until we have new reissues of Rains's music to enjoy, whatever the format, stake out Discogs and hunt through those dusty record stacks in old thrift stores. Maybe you'll get lucky and find a real score to write home about. Until then, don't ever stop kikiing your ears off. The first song I want to share is Hanam Maui. The first, oh my gosh, I cannot say.